Good evening and welcome back to For Veggie's Sake. I am very excited this evening. I'm making sushi. I absolutely adore sushi. And I can blame it on a coworker back in Savannah. I lived in Savannah for a number of years, never had sushi before, and she took me to my first sushi restaurant and the love affair began. So tonight, I wanted to make sushi. My husband actually was the one that got me on this journey. He encouraged me to start learning how to make it because it can be expensive to go into, a restaurant and order sushi. And what I have found is that it's a lot easier to make than I expected. I'm not as good as an actual sushi. Can I say that 10 times fast? No. Sushi chef. I'm never going to say that again. So anyway, what I have done is this is my version of making sushi. So to any of you professional sushi makers out there, I'm sorry. I just want to lay that out there. So when you look at recipes for actually what they do with the rice, I've already cooked the rice. I've got a rice cooker. I'll have it in the description down below so that you can take a look at it. It has a sushi setting for rice. The rice that I usually use is botan. I just go and buy 25-pound bags of it because, first of all, I love the way the mouth feel is. And it's versatile, working in so many different dishes. So botan rice is absolutely my favorite. The other things that they do with sushi rice is they put in rice wine vinegar. So we got rice vinegar, salt, and then usually sugar. I'm trying, and Halloween did not help, to cut down on my sugar intake. So when I make sushi, I don't put sugar into the rice. It does enhance the flavor a little bit, but I honestly don't miss it. So, it is what it is. I don't use the sugar. And I normally do this to taste. So I'm not going to give you exacts. I honestly don't know how much rice I have in here. I know that it's more than 3 cups. I just make what I think is going to be enough and have some leftover, because then you can also do deconstructed sushi too. I cannot say sushi tonight. I want to put an extra letter in there and this is not working. So first thing is I'm going to measure out, just so you can kind of get an idea. This is probably about 5 cups of rice, 3 tablespoons of the rice wine vinegar. And I do this to taste. I just don't worry about exact amounts. Some of the recipes that I've run into for sushi rice didn't really have the flavor that I was looking for. And then probably about a teaspoon and a half of salt. So we'll go ahead and we'll stir that in. You want to stir it in when the rice is cool. What I have found with rice vinegar is that if you put it in when the rice is hot, it kind of cooks out the flavor of the vinegar. And you want to have that in there just enough to wake your taste buds up and, make it taste really, really good. So you get it in, and we're just mixing it up. What I've done today is I've cut everything up essentially to where I need it to be so that we can just go through the actual making of the sushi. I'm going to be doing a sweet potato peanut sushi. Sweet potato and peanut is so good together. I don't put in a lot of peanuts. It's just to give it a little bit of crunch and a little bit of taste. I want to stay away from too much oil in the diet. But when you're making sushi, sometimes you just got to make it the treat that it really is. So the second one we'll be making is just a plain old avocado. I love avocado sushi. You can actually put peanuts in avocado sushi too. It is fantastic. So let's get a little taste of that. I'm going to leave that right there. That's going to be perfect. It's just enough salt and vinegar to make the flavor of the rice really stand up and stand out. And then the third one that I'm going to make is asparagus. And I was thinking that there was a fourth one. Yes, the fourth one is going to be cucumber, carrots, and avocado. So 4 different ones. I was intimidated at first to try and make sushi. I really, really was. But then when I finally tried it, it is so much easier than I expected. So the first one we'll make is going to be the asparagus. And that'll give me room to line my rolls up. So you get your nori wrap, just lay it down, and about a cup of rice, put it on, and then start smearing it down. Again, I am not a professional sushi chef, so anybody who's watching this and starts to cringe, I get it. But it's so worth it for me to be able to just make this from home. It's just less expensive. I love sushi, and there are just nights that I come home and I crave it. I can ask my husband to put the rice on before I get home. And then when I'm home and it's ready to go, I can cool it down quick and get it all flavored. You don't want a huge amount of rice on the roll. I have just found that it makes it hard to get all your veggies on and then make a nice roll with it. I do have one of those fancy bamboo turners, but I've never used it. So this is all by hand. This is the way I do it. So we've got our asparagus. We're going to do a pretty nice little hunk coming down the middle. And can put them on whatever direction you want. I did cook the asparagus. Not long. Just threw it in some boiling water just to soften it up and get it ready to go. What I have found is water is my key to making this thing work. So now that we've got our sushi rice and our asparagus on there, you just start the roll. You want to make it nice and tight. Because the rice does have liquid in it still, it does help with the binding of the sushi roll with the nori. A little bit on your finger, running along the edges, and that actually helps the nori stick together, just like that. And our first roll is done except for the cutting. Just kind of squeeze it together, make sure it's nice and solid. Don't want to split the nori, because at this point it is starting to absorb the moisture. Let's see here. The knife, I like to have the knife wet too. Now, some people may be good enough to use just a straight edge. I use a serrated. It works for me, so there you go. So first I cut it straight down the middle. Just real gentle. Then I take that half and cut it in half again. Then we're going to do it on the other side. Get my knife wet each time. It just makes cutting through the nori so much easier. If you need to wet down the edges a little bit after that, again, you can. All right, wet the knife. Then we're going to do halves for the rest of it. And you end up with 8 somewhat even pieces. Some days I do good, some days I don't. But it's just fun to make. It makes me happy. And then I'm not spending a bunch of money in the grocery store or Japanese restaurants. They do deserve the money because they're amazing. It's just that being able to come home after a long day of work and eat something that I feel like I'm really just indulging in, oh, it's the best thing ever. Okay, so there is our asparagus roll. And what I'm going to do to make myself a little bit of room is I've got my extra vegetables over here. So I'm just going to take the rest of the asparagus and kind of pile it on there. This will be dinner tomorrow. It'll be great. Okay, so the end of this roll, I didn't do very well. I'm still going to eat that. I should have put a little bit more rice and a little bit more asparagus. But you learn as you go. So we'll put this away over here. Really, I'm just doing this video in case you're ever intimidated to try to make your own sushi. It is so easy. So easy. Basically, this is our next go. It's about, like I said, cup and a half, something like that of rice. And and it is sticky rice. I don't know if I've ever told you, but usually when I cook, I end up with half of the food on me and the other half in me. So it is what it is. I have fun. And every time I do this, it gets a little bit better. Okay. So let us do the sweet potato roll. Now, I cooked the sweet potato. It was a pretty big one. And I have extra, again, lunch or dinner tomorrow. And then I just cut off the edges and squared it up. So you can put it right down the middle and get enough to go out to the end. That should be perfect. And then, like I said, a little bit of peanut gets you some crunch, gives you some peanut flavor. It just really spices up the dish a bit. Some people also will put panko. I do have some panko, but I don't generally do panko in my sushi rolls. But panko also gives the sushi roll a really nice crunch. I just happen to really enjoy the peanuts. So again, real easy. We're going to get the roll up. Start just working it together. I try to leave, as I think you might have seen, a little bit at the end so that I can use the water to make it come together. My goodness, it's got rice all over my fingers. So let's get our water again. Normally, I don't do this with a bowl. I stand over at the sink and let the water run. And then I can kind of wash my fingers off in between too. So I'm going to tighten it down a little bit, make sure that everything is in there as close as it can get. Put some water on the edge. Okay, definitely want clean hands when you're doing this. I have dogs. Dogs want to be petted all the time, and then I have to think to myself, did I just pet the dogs before I make my food or not? And yes, that's a true story. Okay, so again, we're just going to go ahead and half this, and then half it again. There's so many different ways that you can make sushi with vegetables, so many different vegetables that you can put in it. When I found out how good sweet potato was in sushi, oh, I was so happy. Because, avocado is good for you, but it's higher in fat, just like the peanuts are. And so I don't want to eat avocado sushi all the time. Getting carrots and celery or cucumber, those are wonderful rolls, but sometimes I just want real simple. I want one or two ingredients, something that I don't have to work too hard over, and put it together and just sit down and eat. So variety being the spice of life. One thing that I forgot when I started the rice to show that to you is you can also get sesame seeds. So since I forgot it for the first two rolls, we might as well throw some sesame seeds into the rice itself for the next two. This is black sesame. And of course, you've got the standard beige recipe that you sesame that you can get. It just depends on what you want. The sesame flavor does come out in the rice, so it's really, really nice to have in there. Okay, and like I said, this is just like anything else in life. You season it to taste. Yeah, I'm not going to taste much of the sesame at this moment, but I find once I put it all together and dip it in the soy sauce and a little bit of wasabi, comes out good. Okay, so we have our second roll. We'll just get this guy scooched up here. So we did our sweet potato. Now, why don't we go ahead and do the avocado. And I'm going to need one more sheet of nori for the last one, so I'll have to go grab that, but that's all right. Okay. Get it spread out. Try to get it all the way out to the edges, on the sides. You can kind of just eyeball it as you go. There's probably some magic exact amount of rice to put on each nori wrap, but I don't know what that is. Okay. What I've done with the avocados, all I did was cut it in half, take out the seed. Then I can take my spoon and just scoop it out. Just going to do a nice line down the middle. Take off some of the black stuff. You know how they get bruised. It happens. I just don't want to eat the bruise. So, okay. Got that nice, lovely, creamy avocado all the way down. Go ahead and straighten things out a little bit. All right. Go ahead and wrap her up again. So let me know in the comments below, what kind of sushi do you like? I've never tried to do sushi when I was still eating meat with salmon or tuna. I think I might have tried tuna once. I just too worried about buying raw fish to put on my sushi. So really, that's what started me down the route of, well, how many different types of veggie sushi can you make? Because I like veggies anyway. And they're cheap and easy to get a hold of, and I don't have to worry about whether or not they're going to go bad on me within a day or two. Okay. So again, I didn't tighten this one, but we'll go ahead and do that right now. Oops, I still need the knife. There we go. Press it together. Okay. And I do have to say, avocado sushi is my absolute favorite. And sometimes I put peanuts in it. Because, again, the crunch, the flavor, oh, it just works. Just works. One day, I am determined to learn how to do the rice on the outside of the nori and have it look really pretty that way. In the meantime, just me, myself, and I, and you watching, it may not look pretty, but it tastes very good. Very good. Okay, so that is roll number 3. Really, the most amount of time that takes to make sushi is the prep time for the vegetables, waiting for the rice to get done, waiting for the potato to cook. After that, it's so easy. Like I said, I forgot I need one more roll, one more piece of nori for the roll. 4 rolls for me is way too much. So this is going to end up being lunch probably tomorrow. I will eat the pieces with the avocado in it tonight because avocado doesn't last long once it's out of its packet, out of the skin. So, all right. Now we're going to do the veggie roll, the multi-veggie roll. And then I get to sit, watch TV, eat my wonderful sushi rolls, and just indulge in something that I absolutely love and did not have to pay as much for. And again, if you go to school for becoming a chef and making these rolls and inventing them, oh my goodness, I love you so much. And I thank you for sharing. It's just that I can't always go out to eat. And this just solves everything for me. Everything. All right, so now we're going to do carrots. I'm not going to do a ton of carrots in here. Just, I want the flavor. I want that to come through. For the cucumber, I sliced it into basically quarters on the half, so eighths, and then I cut off the seeds in the middle. Put one line down there, measure it off a bit. Okay. And then a little bit more avocado. I probably will use all the rest of the avocado. It's too much to eat in one sitting, but you know what? I don't do sushi every day. So here we go. And I just want to show you, actually, I'm not using the whole avocado. There you go. I just want to show you how easy this can be. It's just fun. Get some girlfriends, some friends together, and have a sushi making party. Sit down and enjoy it. There we go. Get a little sake on the side. Nice stuff. Okay. And press down a little bit. Make sure it's kind of all even. It's all in there. Okay. Here is going to be our last roll. And yes, I am very, very, very well aware that my sushi rolls are not pretty. I don't care. Because it's the flavor. And at the end of the day, maybe one day I go take a class or two, or, learn from somebody who's much better at this than I am. What this really shows, bottom line, is that if you're trying to lose weight and you're trying to be good, don't eat a whole avocado. But the foods that you think maybe are beyond you, they're not. Find a different way to make them so that you can enjoy it. You can still have a little bit of that love affair and make it healthy. I cannot stress how much I love to be able to make this, know what I put in it, know all the ingredients, not have to have the sugar in the rice because sugar is a downfall for me. Halloween proved that. Not perfect, never gonna be. But you can have what you love. You don't have to give up things. You just have to find the workaround. That's the best that I can say. Okay, here is my imperfect sushi for you tonight to look at. And I honestly do wish that you could be here to try it because, whoops. Got my little dish here. Get that guy out of the way. My chopsticks. Okay. We'll cheat and we'll pull from the middle. So that's the avocado. Then we've got the sweet potato. We've got the asparagus. Oh, goodness. I was snacking on asparagus today as I made it. And my dish is not going to be quite big enough. We're going to do it anyway. Here is the multi-veggie sushi. The carrot, cucumber, avocado. So, let me rinse my hands off and I will let you get a close-up. Okay. So, that is my little plate of loveliness. Get down in there. All right. So we've got the avocado on the end. They're not perfectly round. I get it. But there is the carrot and the cucumber. There's the asparagus right there. This is not that hard to make. It's pretty easy. Okay, and let's try a piece out. So I have my soy sauce, my little plate here. Now I'm one of those people that puts the wasabi in the soy sauce. I know, if you're watching and you're a sushi connoisseur, I'm sorry. That's the first thing that I did when I first ate sushi, and it has stuck ever since. I have put the wasabi, this is a brand new tube anyway. I have put the wasabi in the actual sushi roll itself, and it's fantastic. But this is called Bad Habits Die Hard. And honestly, I don't find it that much of a bad habit. I love sushi. I love the way I make it. And I'm going to sit down and have a very nice dinner tonight. So I just put the wasabi in. I mix it into the soy sauce. I like heat. So again, you're going to have to put in however much wasabi you want to taste, just like you do with salt and pepper in dishes. And let's go for the asparagus. It's a big bite. I'm not going to go with a bigger bite because the one with the carrots and cucumber, and that's going to be a 2-bite guy. All right. This might be a 1-bite, but that's all right. Mm-hmm. I never want to get to the point in my life where I feel like what I'm doing is too hard to do because I can't eat the food I want. Having this, knowing how to make some really simple sushi, that's a lot to me. It means a lot to me. I'm so grateful to have a husband that suggested it. I'm so grateful that we got the rice maker that makes the sushi rice perfectly. I don't have to think about it. All I have to do is rinse the rice, put it in the rice maker, put the amount of water in that I need, and let it go. It takes care of the rest. Then I can chop my vegetables, cook up my sweet potato if I need to, and sit back and have a really good dinner. I hope this encourages you to go ahead and make your own sushi. And please, for Veggie sake, eat for your health. Find ways to make it taste good the way that you love it. And subscribe if you like the content. Have a good night. I forgot one more thing before you go. Don't click off yet. If you don't feel like rolling, at Trader Joe's, and I'm sure you can probably get this online, is this Japanese multi-purpose seasoning. And it essentially is white sesame seeds, black sesame seeds, nori that's cut up really fine, a little bit of salt, and kelp powder. So let me show you. You can still get your nori taste if you want to do a deconstructed sushi. So you can just kind of pour that in there. You can see, you can see the nori in there. And you mix it all together. And I do this actually quite often too, because it's so easy. If I don't feel like sitting and actually rolling it out, I'll get out my shaker, get it into the rice, right? Then you can throw in some of your carrots. You can do all kinds of vegetables in here. I have a little bit of my avocado left, so I could throw that in. And then we can cut up some of the cucumber. Then you don't have to worry about getting a knife wet and trying to get things rolled. I absolutely love deconstructed sushi. It works perfectly. Get your cucumber in there. Okay. If you wanted to, grab some of your sweet potato. Cut that up. Get that in another corner of the bowl. Oh, it looks so pretty. So pretty. Is that everything? You want some peanuts? Throw some peanuts in. And there you go. A little bit of soy sauce mixed with some wasabi if you want to be naughty. And there is a deconstructed sushi. I love that. It is so easy. It tastes just like regular sushi, and you don't have to roll it. So if you're looking for an easier way to do it without having to worry about the rolling, get your Japanese multi-purpose seasoning. Probably get it on Amazon. I'll take a look, see if I can get the link for you. You can also rip up a nori sheet. I don't have one, but if you have just a whole nori sheet like that on the regular sushi, you can rip that up and throw it into your rice too. A little bit of sesame seed in there, and that's essentially the same thing as this. So anyway, I'm glad I remembered. Actually, I'm glad my husband remembered. Have a wonderful night. Make some sushi. Let me see down below. Let me know what you did, and let me know if you like the content, and give me some more ideas for different types of sushi. Love you. Bye.